Hi everyone, welcome to Python Osmosis, episode 29, the screencast that packages Python knowledge without even requiring sys.path.append. I'm Ryan Shea, and in this episode we'll be talking about packages. So if you remember from our modules lesson, we created fibbo.py, which was the Fibonacci sequence, and in here there was a couple of different functions in this module, fib and fib2. And just as a refresher, we could import fibbo, and then if you look in our namespace, we have fibbo as a module that's imported in, or we could say from fibbo import fib, and then we could now call it as fib, or we could have called fibbo.fib. Okay, and since I just imported it both different ways, you can see that I can call it both ways. So let's take a look at a package. A package is very similar to a module, except if you have something that's more complex, you now have a way of creating a sort of a hierarchy of folders where you can put modules in. In this case, we're going to use sound as the package. So sound has 3 folders beneath it: formats, effects, and filters. So sound is a pretty generic category. So yeah, you can format sound, and here's all the different types of formats that we're familiar with reading and writing to: waves, AIFF, AUs. And we can apply effects on those: echoes, surrounds, reverses, and we may not even know what we want to add to these folders in the future, but it makes a lot of sense to keep these separated into different modules. So I've already created a folder called sound. Actually, do a star there. So in sound, all I have is these 3 folders. In order to make the sound folder a module, all I have to do is touch __init___.py. So that's it. There's more advanced things you can do with __init__, but we're going to talk about that in another lesson. So now if I go into the effects folder, same thing here, touch __init__.py. Now I have a module. So here's some of our functions. Nothing too fancy here. I just have a simple print put in here just to kind of show you the idea. Let's go back to our Python directory. So let's hop into IPython and try and use this package. Okay, so if you remember from modules, the modules look in the sys.path in order to resolve. So when we just imported fibbo, it looked in the current directory, and packages are going to work the same way. If, let's say, this was in a different location, we'd have to use sys.path, and to do that we'd just say import sys, and then we'd do sys.path.append, and in this case I don't need to do it, but I'm going to just do this superfluously: /home/Ryan/osmosis. Okay, so now it's going to look in sys. If it wasn't in the current directory, it would then look in sys.path, and we've just appended onto that variable the current directory. So let's go ahead and try and use this. Import sound.effects, that was the folder, .echo, the module. So now we have the module sound that's loaded. Now this actually is a package. The whole package is loaded, but I've imported the echo module. So if now I say sound.effects.echo.echoFilter in.wave out.wave, now you see it prints out to the screen, filtered in wave and written to out wave with a delay of this and attenuation of that. So you see that the package worked, but I had to call it with this entire long path name. We saw this in modules as well, so there is another way. You can actually say from. So from sound.effects import echo. Now, when I say whos, you're going to actually see echo listed as a module here. So that means I can call it a little bit more succinctly. So I can say echo.echoFilter. Actually, let me just go back up to the, works the same way. Echo.echoFilter, and that's a little bit easier. Or if we wanted to be more specific, from sound.effects.echo, basically all the way down to the module level, import echo filter. So now I'm going to have just that function listed, and indeed we see that echo filter as a function is in our current namespace. And in the same way that we just called it, where do we go? Now we can actually just say echo filter. Echo filter in, out, boom. That's all for now. This screencast is directly inspired by the official Python tutorial by Guido van Rossum at python.org.